Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. I pray that all is well and you all are in the best of health and spirits on this evening. And I have with me my brother Sean Ali. We're coming on for our Health and Wellness Power Hour for Wellness Wednesday. And Assalamu alaikum, brother Sean.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you?
Oh man. Okay. Not bad at all.
Alive and well.
That I take that part.
Right, right. Yeah, so our topic is tongue tied. Our topic today is why words matter.
Hmm.
Let's get into it. Why do words matter? Why can't we just say what we want to say and say how we feel?
Hmm. That's a good question. And I mean, and that first of all, we got to start with, as always, some truth. Everybody doesn't believe the same thing, and that's cool and that's great. So this is basically general information, right? When we're looking at the bases of science and mathematics, things that are provable, right? So
Right,
not the metaphysical, spiritual, things that we talk. We want to look at the things that's has some type of proof to it, right?
right,
So the only thing that I have is my words. That's how I describe what I am, who I am, and everything. And when we look at why a person fights, is usually because they run out of words to adequately describe themselves or what's going on. So they left with being physicality. You know, so that's very important because I can only do what I know, and I only know what I know through the words. You feel me? So just like when we ask each other how we're doing, a lot of us, we only know a few words to describe how we're feeling, but there's so many things that we could feel, and we become limited by our vocabulary. So when we looking at why words matter, I can only do what I know, and I only know what I know through the words, right? So,
right,
so I expand mentally, emotionally, physically. I expand my knowledge. I expand my life through words, right?
right, right,
And the words that I use is my reality, right? So if I only know negative words, hard words, cold words, unforgiving words, unloving words. If this is all I know and all I use, that's what my reality is. It doesn't matter what's going on around me or with somebody else, right? If I come up and I say, "Hey, how you doing today?" Nah, man, I ain't feeling too good. That's my reality, right?
right. And you know, brother Sean, the
I'm listening.
most important thing about that is the words that we say to ourselves, internally. We not may not speak it, but the thoughts that go through our heads about our own selves.
And that's why, like I said, not everybody believes in the same thing, but there are some things that have been tested, that we can prove that there's some science on, and the usages of our words is one of them, because the body follows the mind, and the mind functions off of words. Why did you do that? I don't know. And everybody that has gotten that answer say, how can you not know? What do you mean? Right? You look at the person, whether it's a child or an adult, because adults answer with, I don't know why I did what I did. And this is what I'm saying. We are that my vocabulary is my limitations. So I remove my limitations by increasing my vocabulary because
Mm,
I could feel on the low end, but I'm not necessarily sad. I'm not necessarily depressed. But if I don't know any other word to how to describe how I'm feeling, I'm stuck.
right.
You know, like I'm stuck there, like because I don't know. And this is when you get those answers. I don't know because of my vocabulary. I don't know that many words.
And what
I
are we
don't know.
taught? The average word man speaks 400 words
Considered well,
considered well.
and that's not a lot.
Right. Considered well.
That's not a lot of words. That's not a, and not all of those words are dealing with emotions. Look at, how you feeling. I'm okay. I'm sick. My stomach hurt. My head hurt. We it's these general words, and we are limited by that. And just when we hear you speak things into existence, okay. Most people will say my stomach hurts and grab anywhere but where their stomach is at,
Right.
right?
Don't actually know, probably.
And we all, but this is in order for me to get the help that I need. I have to be able to accurately describe what's going on with me.
Right.
Same thing with my car. If my car is going through something, the mechanic isn't there. I have to try to use some sounds or words to describe to them what's going on with my car. Man, it was making this. Oh, man, I go to
Oh
right.
my God.
So we this becomes our limitation
Right.
because I don't know how to accurately describe what I want, what I need, so I never get it. I never speak it into existence because I don't know the words, right?
Right. That's true.
So we can get stuck with images, scenery in our head, but we can't transcribe it into words. We can't articulate it into words. So it gets stuck here. We can't tell our partners. We can't put it down. So it gets stuck here. And this becomes our limitation,
Right.
especially us coming out of hell, us coming out of slavery, us coming out of being miseducated. We almost all of us have an imbalance, but we don't even know how to describe it. And we get stuck in our imbalance. So
Wow.
somebody asks me, "What's you are?" Nah, I don't really feel. We use those little few words. I don't feel good. I don't feel. That's not describing what's wrong with you, and we don't get answers. We
Exactly.
don't. And this is a part. This is why words matter, because that's how you describe who you are. That's how you tell people who you are. That's how you tell people what you are. This is the interaction that we use is the words.
Right. And words shape matter, so we shape who we are.
Whether
Right.
you're thinking it or speaking it,
Exactly. Exactly.
they're just two different forms. The thinking part is mostly chemical and electrical because when you speak to make sound, it's physical things that happen to make sound. And since we are made out of water and that happens inside of us, that sound wave, that sound effect It
Right.
occurs inside of us, right? That sound therapy. So when man, fuck that, man, see, those vocal cords are beating together so forcefully to make that angry sound. You become hoarse. You lose your voice, right? Your
Right.
throat hurts at the end of an argument because you have
Lowers
put
your
so much,
vibration, lowers your energy.
right?
Feeling all irritated.
You know, because you turn yourself into that. When you speak, those what we call those high-powered words, those positive words, that when those vocal cords hit together, the sound
Mhm.
effect, the sound wave is turning you into that word, right? So
Right.
man, and
Powerful.
you physically feel it, right? You physically feel it because it's physically happening. Your vocal cords are physically hitting together. Right,
Yes.
right. So the science is for every action, there's an opposite and equal
Equal
reaction.
reaction.
So
That's
if
right.
I say God and those vocal cords hit together to make the word God, what is the opposite and equal reaction inside of me? Right?
Right.
So this is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, think 5 times before you speak. Because once I speak it,
It's
it
out there.
doesn't matter who hears it. My vocal cords are creating that effect inside of me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Right.
Yes.
Then you got the chemical and you got because everything is electrical inside of the body. We hear about electrical food and things like that, but the thoughts is what controls the central nervous system. So if we look at the spine, right? The highway, the central nervous system is the brain and the spinal column, right? So nothing moves by itself. If we stop moving right now, there is no electrical impulses coming down. So when you want to move one of your arms, that impulse travels down to the vertebrae, to the nerves that control that arm and gives you movement. Paralysis is when that signal can't go. So those that are paralyzed in the leg, that signal can't travel down and it gets interfered with, right? So that's what the basis of paralysis is when your electricity can't travel to your body. The only reason it's traveling is to move it. So listen, right? So when you're looking at thought, is the controller of this highway, whether it's fight or flight or love, peace, and happiness, right? Whether it's eating to live or eating to die. But it's all predicated by the thought.
Thoughts.
Right. So if I don't say the thought, but like you said earlier, by us even just thinking about
Thinking it. Creating a whole chemical reaction.
that electrical, when you see somebody sad, depressed, they're drooping. That electrical
Yes.
energy is so low, it's drooping. When you see
Wow.
somebody happy and love, confident, right? They that they up. They're up,
Right.
right? That electrical impulse is so high, it has them up. Just like, man,
Yes. So
they can't even
words
help.
matter. Words matter.
Right. They can't even help themselves. So
Thoughts matter too. Right.
that the basis of thoughts is words.
Right.
That's why,
Absolutely.
right? So that's what we're looking at. Why words matter, and this is like it's a broad field. It's all of these things that we're talking about plus others,
Mhm.
and we're just trying to hit on the different ways of why words are important. It's
Right.
it's the basis for external communication as well as internal communication. So if there's something that's going on in my body, good or bad, it's based on communication. The
Yes.
wrong thought triggers the HP or the HPA axis. So the wrong thought, it creates a circuit within my body, which we call the stress response. But that occupies my electrical, chemical energy in my body. I'm under
Right.
the stress response. I'm under fight or flight. I'm not in control of myself.
Right.
That's the most damaging aspect of stress. You and I are not in control of ourselves, right?
Hmm.
Sister Denise, I'm locked in that HPA axis, right? Um, in my car, at my desk, I'm someplace where I can't physically go somewhere. I'm stuck.
Right.
I'm physically stuck, right? And I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose my cool. I don't want to beat their ass. I don't want to. I'm trying to stop all of this.
I want to get emotionally hijacked and lose control.
Right, right, right.
Right. Yes, sir. So, there's so many peppermint because that's gonna wake you up, get you alert, snap you back out of that loop. Right.
Mm.
It's gonna.
Yeah, peppermint will.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a nice, strong.
Very.
Woo! Open
That
it
and
up.
eucalyptus because see, and then eucalyptus is gonna lower your stress hormone as well as you know get you out of that emotional loop.
Right. I like those two too, and they
Yeah.
those are good together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Especially during this time of year with congestion, colds, and coughs and things of that nature. Those two together is great for the respiratory system. Brother
In your
Kelvin say
nervous
he
system,
keeps it on him.
right? In your nervous system,
Yes.
yes, yes, because that's what controls everything. Your immune, everything is ran off of electricity,
Right.
right? Everything. So anything can a lot can put you in the stress response. There's a lot that can take you out as well, but it's a lot of things that we do that we think are healthy things that actually trigger the stress response inside of us.
Right.
You exercising, over exercise, sitting too long, move like we do so many things that we could think aren't harmful, but they trigger the stress response.
Right.
So,
And
and
then your body's gonna let you know when you sat too long, something's gonna get numb, start hurting, start aching. So I'm telling you to get up and move something.
mhm, mhm. All of these are stressors.
Right.
We gotta all of these put us in the stress response, and
Absolutely.
we have to understand the dangers of it. And that, okay, if I put myself in the stress response, I have to take care, and I got to make sure that I'm flushing out these hormones and that I'm resetting my body. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I have to be able to stop it and flush it out and reset it. That's with the oils. Keep that.
Yes.
Do
Put it
you
in
have
an
one?
inhaler. I don't
Yeah,
have.
there you go. The inhaler.
Yes, I don't have one next to me. But yes, those inhalers is aromatherapy on the go. So easy to use. You know, the oil is already mixed on the cotton wick. You just take the top off and inhale, breathe, breathe.
Free your mind,
Right,
and the rest will follow. That's what the song say. You know, and increase the vocabulary. We need a the for a because that's we're talking about words. So it's not just a dictionary. We need to know the antonyms and the synonyms. You know,
right,
words that are similar and words that are opposite. So we
exactly.
know what more words to use. So because I could be feeling some type of way, but I'm not sick. You know what I mean? I'm not, I just feel so I need to know different words to be able to describe what I'm going through. So if I do need help, if I do need assistance, you know what I mean? I can get the help that I need, the assistance that I need without wasting my own time and staying stuck in that particular imbalance.
Right. Being stuck in that loop.
That prolongs the loop because I don't know when somebody asks me what's going on, I don't know. Hey, I don't. So I can't. How am I going to get out of something that I don't know, even within myself to describe? And
Right,
and this could keep us in that emotional loop on that emotional roller coaster.
right. Not knowing how to express it.
Exactly. So,
Powerful.
the source, look up all of the words, find the antonyms, the synonyms. What's the opposite of anger? What's the opposite of sick? What's the opposite of, we can copacetic. Learn
Hmm.
words that will allow you to express what you're feeling without making you feel some way that you aren't.
Right.
Just like if you stub your toe and you say out and it didn't hurt, you know,
Yes,
Will,
sir.
out. It didn't hurt. We don't want this is this
Just a
that's
knee
learned
jerk reaction.
that's learned behavior. See, we want to unlearn that and learn better behavior. You feel me?
Right.
So if
Hmm.
it didn't hurt, why am I saying out if it didn't hurt?
Wanted some attention.
Hey, well, what it does internally, for every action there's the opposite of equal reaction. So
Right, right.
right. So if I'm saying out, I'm putting myself in a stress response. Now,
Wow.
yeah,
Yes, because the body's responding to that.
to me,
Right. To yes, to what you see.
right,
Right, right.
right. Oh, he said out. Okay, we got you, got you, got you, got
Let's
you.
make it hurt.
We gonna give him some out.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah.
Yes, sir, that's powerful. Words matter, y'all.
Yes. And that from this approach, it's like not only does it make sense, but this is how I see we can use it. Because that
Hmm.
should be the goal, not just to understand it, but to learn how to use it so I can not just make myself balance, but I can empower myself.
Right.
Because
That's the key of this whole show.
right,
Right.
to take this and empower. Okay,
Power yourself.
I know it's power to it, but am I rendering myself powerless or am I empowering myself? Because
Right.
anger is power, but I mean, stress is power, man. That's cortisol and adrenaline. Shoot, that's fight and flight. That's power. But am I hurting myself or bettering myself?
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, you gotta affirm yourself with, where, and that's what creating that healthy lifestyle that you talk about, you know, with the words you speak.
To stuff you can't buy. This is what we do the most damage at. Because we, like you said, we can have that conversation and it not be out loud. I'm just thinking it.
Right.
That's what we're practicing because that's the most communication we have is with ourselves more than we'll talk with anybody else. So if that internal conversation, communication, if I'm not practicing that, it's this ain't about me talking to other people because I got to learn how to control that within myself first. So now
Right.
every conversation I have with myself is a high man. I'm there.
Yes. Yes. We have a question. A brother says, Assalamu alaikum. How to inspire one to read as a means for learning words and proper usage of a word? How do you inspire one to read? I guess that's the question.
I mean, we see what we do, what we see other people do, and that's one of the biggest things that we do. We're mimickers,
Right.
and if somebody doesn't know how to do something, they have to be taught. And the scripture says, how can you be taught unless one is sent?
Mm.
But it also says, if you knock, it'll be open. So it's they have to know that options are, we can only do what we know, and we only can know what we see or hear. Because you know what
Right.
I mean? If I don't already know it, I have to be taught it. So being an example of that is the best way, and if you have an understanding of it, becoming a teacher.
Mhm.
Because I don't know when I don't know when I mean, when somebody needs to utilize that isn't the same for everybody. Because
Right.
everybody doesn't believe the same thing. But when we can show scientific uh, proofs on the effects of words, psychosomatic disorder, with anger, fear, with these words due to the body. They literally make the body sick. Okay, if these group of words literally make the body physically sick, the opposite of those words should have the opposite effect.
Opposite effect. Right.
Okay, right?
Cause and
So,
effect. Cause and effect.
right. So if I know fear, anger, depression, sadness, yes, you can use those words. Yes, you might not even feel what happens to you, but that doesn't stop it from happening. So the more we do it, now we create that wear and tear.
Right.
That acute, right? Now, 30 years, 40 years, you get those now you can start to see it versus somebody that's younger, they might not, you're not feeling the effects of it yet. If that makes
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
that was a beautiful response to that question.
the main thing is using it. People always expect me to smile and
Be hype, brother Sean.
because that's what they know of me, right?
Right.
And but I practice that on my own. You know, it's very rarely when somebody calls me and I'm not in this because I practice this on my own.
Right.
So it becomes learned behavior. So no matter, like the minister says, he brings his own atmosphere. So it doesn't matter who I'm around, who I'm talking to, because I've already practiced controlling my own self.
Right. And the type of atmosphere you want to have around yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
love is going to be.
Right.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
confidence is going to be self doubt. You know what I mean? Happiness is going to be, you know,
Sadness.
right. You know, so it doesn't matter who I'm encountered around. If you know, once you train yourself and you get that learned muscle memory, that learned behavior, man,
Mhm.
people will want to see you just so they can get that boost from
Right.
you. Man.
Like, I
Like,
love your energy. Yes. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. We had some comments. Sister Tracy's on. She said she's glad she's on. She needed this and it's healthy for her mind. Thank you.
all
All
praises.
praises due to Allah.
Yeah. And that's in.
Y'all don't know what we went through to get this show on today.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. It was supposed to have been earlier, and
Right?
things got yeah.
Things, life.
So
But
everything happens for a reason,
for a
you know.
reason, that's
Right,
right.
right.
We are here for
And
Sister Tracy. She needed this.
and this is because out of everything that we could hear about, and when we, especially those that follow the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, right? We have How to Eat to Live. We have Our Savior Has Arrived. And in Our Savior Has Arrived, he teaches us that we are creating new creation every day. And
Right.
he asks, what brings about a new creation? And he says that a new mind produces new ideas, new thoughts. And a person that has created a new mind and new ideas, he can't help but to do something new because
Right.
the new mind and new ideas are going to produce new action. So if we know the central nervous system is controlled by electricity, but that electricity is controlled by the thoughts. Because if you stop moving, your body doesn't move. It's not going to move until you want it to
Mhm.
move, good or bad.
Right.
Good or bad, right? So when we learn how to control that new thought process, we learn how to control that by learning how the thought process actually happens. Right?
Right.
So, because I didn't know about psychosomatic disorder. No, they don't teach you that the thoughts, not even you speaking
Right.
it out loud, but if
Just
you
the
think
thoughts.
certain words, you will literally make your physical body sick. Go to the hospital. You will get a blood test, EKG, ECG, a urinalysis, and they are coming in with the clipboard and say, "Hey, man, everything is normal." Make an appointment with your primary care physician in about 3 something days. If you go
Right.
home and the symptoms come back, you can come on back and see us. But we're gonna give you some Motrin 800 and this general antibiotic or
Right.
muscle. Right? This is what they tell you because it wasn't. You're not. It's you. And
Right.
because these words connect us to that HPA axis, which is the stress response. So now you are moving yourself, but you are under the influence of adrenaline and cortisol. So, yes, you are moving yourself, but that's like being under the influence of drugs or alcohol or some other intoxicant.
Right.
And this is what we it's easy to prevent. It's easy
Right.
to prevent. Control your words. Why words matter.
Control your thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
Control what you speak.
Control that's you can go through something that's traumatic, shocking, and but you don't have to call it that. I've always tried to teach my children to go through anything with the smile on your face because it doesn't change what you're going through, but it changes how you go through it.
Right.
So I can go through a potentially stressful situation without stressing myself out. Man, how do you not
That's
stress yourself out, brother Sean? The words that I choose to describe what I'm going through.
right. That's right. Sister Tracy says, change your mind, change your life. Right. Change your thoughts.
You open up that thesaurus, learn those antonyms and those synonyms. Happy is not the only word that I can use to describe. You got ecstatic, you got elated. I
Elated.
mean, we the more words that we have, we can use them. So if I got 100 ways to describe how happy I am, I got 100 different ways to keep and make myself happy. Right?
Powerful.
Man, okay now. Because I know how to piss myself off. Listen now, I don't need a dictionary to learn the words to make myself low. I'm
Right.
proficient. Man, I got shoot. I know those words. You
Yeah.
know, it's the opposite of that.
Right. So you can just think of something that happened in the past that upset you. You be upset all over again,
All over again.
creating that same chemical reaction
All over again.
as if it's happening in real time. And it is really if you go back and conjure it up.
Yep. I'm using the same words to describe how I felt 25 years ago. Yeah. Not what I went through, but how I felt.
Right.
That's up to me. That's a part of that addictiveness of stress. Because if the only way I know how to get power is from adrenaline and cortisol, I'm going to always put myself in a stressful situation. I'm going to exercise like a maniac. I'm going to be at the gym for an hour, 2, 3 hours. You're going to see me doing all kind of crazy stuff. I'm going to eat like that. I'm going to vacation like that. I'm going to be an adrenaline cortisol junkie. That's what a lot of us are. We aren't sick. We aren't going through anything. We have become cortisol and adrenaline junkies.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Words matter, man. Words.
Right.
Why words matter? Man, okay.
That's why
No.
we taught to think 5 times before we speak.
Mm.
That sums it up.
Mm.
And this brother says the role environment influence plays on thoughts and word usage.
Yes.
The environment you're in, if all you hear is cuss words, every other word,
Yeah.
that's shaping your shaping your thoughts.
Yes. Oh, but only to a certain age, because I was in prison and I learned more in prison in that time span than I have out here, because it was less movement. So even in that dangerous, harmful, toxic environment, I'm surrounded by criminals. I mean, but I create my reality.
Right.
I'm only under the influence of external things when I'm not in control of myself. And after a certain age, I become responsible for what I know and don't know. Ignorance is not a defense after when you're an adult in a court of law. So it's
Right.
not a defense in life, because especially nowadays when we all have smartphones, we can Google everything, anything, So to not use it to improve my mind, man, that's internal. That's individual. That's something that you chose not to do, and we have to take that responsibility, because for those that chose to learn something, nobody, usually it's because they wanted to do it.
Right.
And when they want to do it, most times they think everybody else wants to do it. Something better in yourself. When you make that decision to better yourself, in whether it's education, financial, health, right? You automatically think everybody else is doing it too. You become shocked to find out, man, y'all didn't you didn't read an anatomy book?
Right.
Like you didn't read.
Like everybody reading an anatomy book.
You know, I was shocked that people did. But,
Yeah.
but
Knowledge of self.
that's absolutely correct, and that's those environmental factors, right? You grow up, we mimic. So the first things that we're going to do is what we saw other people do,
Right.
because that's our learning. So absolutely. And that's why we having the show. Why words matter. That statement, beloved, is exactly why we are having this show, to even open that conversation up.
Right.
From the many perspectives of it.
Yes, sir. That is let's see. Good topic. Why words matter. They matter on so many levels.
Mm-hmm. That's the control of yourself. Blood pressure, you'll make your arteries constrict or relax just off of some words.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. You can't pray and be angry. You might can start off the prayer angry, right?
That's
You
why
know,
you need it.
you ain't,
Need
man, I
prayer.
don't want to, for whatever reason, but once you get into prayer, whether it's the Our Father prayer, Hail Mary, it don't matter. Once you get into it, because of the words that you're using, they're not angry words. So they're going to have that opposite and equal effect on you, right? So this is, when a person is in, I've been to prison, man. You waiting on the trial, you praying, God, please get me about this.
I'll never do this again.
I've seen my child come out. I'm praying, waiting to watch my child come out into this world. And so it's different situations that we pray for, but we do it for that same calming, soothing effect.
Right.
Because of the words. Right? So now we can take that and we can always have that type of effect by being careful and particular with the words we use.
Right. Yes, sir. But it says you'll catch a headache off of using certain words. That is so true.
It's and see that's shows us the power. But we only have examples of how we hurt ourselves with words. You know what I mean? Like getting headaches, psychosomatic disorder, making yourself sick, these things, right? But okay, what happens when we use those high powered words, man? Listen now, you dig what I'm
Right.
saying? So the same way I can use a word to make a headache, I can use a word to get rid of that headache. I just have to practice saying the words in the amount of words I know. Because the amount of words that I know, they might not be the right word to get rid of that headache, right? So I learn and I study all of the good words. So I got that headache. I'm going down the list and I'm busting it, right? So one of these is going to unlock this headache, just like one of my words gave me the headache.
Right.
Why word? This is why words matter.
Definitely.
You know, because we constantly hurt ourselves with words. I've said things to my children. Soon as I said them, I regretted it. You know, because I said it out of anger. I said it out of frustration. I've said
Right.
things to, I've never been married, but I've been in relationships. I've said things to my partners that out of frustration, out of anger, I've lost jobs, right? Because I've said something. Man, y'all can have this shit, man. You know, right?
Oh,
So
goodness.
I'm being personal. I
Right.
got a history of how I've used words to my own detriment.
Yes, sir.
Moving forward,
I understand.
I want to right, but moving forward, I'm trying to practice the opposite. I'm good with look. I don't have to ever experience that no more, man. I'm good. I believe that I can hurt myself with words. Now I want to believe I can empower myself with words.
That's right. Get
You
up
feel
and
me?
be grateful. Say some affirmations. Affirm yourself. I'm big on that. Affirm
Man,
yourself every day.
every day.
Speak life.
Even when I look back on some stuff I went through. Hey, you know what? You went through it already. So now I can look back at the same traumatic event and I can be like, ooh, wow, whoa, hey, but I'm not crying no more. I'm
Right.
not sad, depressed no more because I already went through it. So now, see, my words that I use to describe it has to be past tense, like the event. I can't use current words to describe a past tense event because life moves forward. So that stops me because it hurt then. It's over with. So how's it hurting now?
Right.
I can't use past tense words to describe the. I know I gotta use. Man, I'm healthy now. I'm strong. I wish it would happen again now. Cause now I know what I would do better. See, I'm looking why words matter. This is why words matter. Because
Right.
this is my life. This is your life. The words you use. That's what your reality is.
That is so true.
You know. And
That
since I call
that
you,
is so
you,
true.
you know, my life is a wildlife story. You know what I mean? But
It's a novel.
yeah,
Write that book, the book of
yeah, but
Sean.
you know, to be able to control me to be able to control you. That's that's the because that allowed now it opens up my future.
Right.
You feel what it opens up my future because I'm going forward knowing that, hey man, yes, God is in control, but he gave me this.
Right.
Right. The earth and the universe is his, but he gave me this.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
Oh,
Well,
praise.
this has been an awesome show. I enjoyed this, the interaction from everybody that's on. Thank you all for tuning in. On that note, we're going to wrap it up and stay tuned, inshallah, next Wednesday. This might be a better time for Brother Sean. We got more interaction.
Oh yeah. Everybody's off and yeah.
Laying in the bed with their phone
Hey
scrolling.
man, hey, let me tune in. I bam.
Oh, goodness. All right, family. Thank you all for tuning in. Um, this has been fun. This has been a good topic. And you all can reach out to either of us. I have the essential oils. Brother Sean has all of his books. I have books on Amazon as well.
And let us know if y'all got some topics y'all want us to talk about.
Yes, definitely. We
You
take
know,
suggestions. What do you all want to hear or learn about? Uh-oh. Did I lose you, Brother Sean? I think we did. His phone probably died. But thank you all for tuning in. Sister Tracy, Brother Kelvin, Brother Kenny, Kenneth. Thank you all. Who else? Afro Squatch. Thank you for tuning in. All right. And you all take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace and blessings to you.